Well, I don't want to fearmonger, but this is getting serious. There is a seismic buildup, meaning swarms of earthquakes taking place at La Palma in the Canary Islands, west of Africa. Just to zoom out, you can see where Africa is. It's right here, just below Morocco. And here is the island La Palma, which is a volcanic island. It's built up by lava from the bottom up. So that would be 3.5 miles of layers of old volcanic ash and of course solidified lava. It has always been a case for worry regarding this particular area because they know that it's unstable and volcanic eruptions happen with intervals of 20 to 200 years, and that means it could be anytime soon. And as far as I know from Israeli Live News, that is, Russia and China is working together with some kind of hub system, I believe. Maybe something more advanced, something that can go through the earth and hit this spot immediately and then break it off. We're talking about this entire region here. Zoom it in. From here and all this, all the way down. This is a 350 kilometer stretch along the edge of this crack. That means all this is prone to go into the ocean. I have spoken about this way back, many years ago, and of course I was being scoffed for being a fearmonger, but this is scientific fact, people. Okay? It's not just something I'm coming up with. This is something that worries the scientists, geologists, volcanists, whatever they're called, volcanologists, because they know. So let's say that they can set this one up to go off, China and Russia. Let's zoom out. Hold the spot. It's right there. You can see it will mostly hit South America and the Caribbean more violently than it will hit North America. The reason for that is it's because of its trajectory. It will shoot out in this direction, and if you follow that direction, it will hit here. But that means the Caribbeans and Brazil, that would be Venezuela and the other countries there, Guyana and Suriname, French Guiana and state of Amapá, and of course Brazil, they are going to get a rough experience. There are some videos on YouTube. One is this one starting out. I mean, I'm not going to show the whole video because it's 4 minutes, but this is what we're talking about. So this is a projected scenario. So if you go back again there and go full screen on it, you don't get the whole screen, but most of it, you can see how devastating that's going to be. Well, it depends on how fast, how abrupt the landslide will be, and how much mass of rock is falling into the ocean, sliding in. That water displacement is going to create at the front here, right here in this area, right in front of the volcano, it will create a 3,000 feet wave, which will quickly fall down. But let me see if I have something called paint. I think I do. There you go. So just for the fun of it, I'm going to take a pencil. I'm going to take a brush. That. How does that look? Yeah, that's fine. So do that. Let's see the size of the brush. Okay. So here we got the island, right? And this piece here is sliding into the ocean. Down. So what will happen, which the graphic also shows, that is an abrupt rise in water like that, which will be around 3,000 feet high. But going back to here, because of the distance it's traveling, it's going to fall down, so it just become a ripple in the ocean. But the most important thing is that is new. What I want to change it. So let's say the wave is in the water, and we have the ripple here on the water surface. Let's just, for the good fun of it, like this. And we go back here to the black one, and we go down. Actually, this one go down all the way to the bottom of the ocean. That would be 3.5 miles down. The devastation of the tsunami created by that is dependent on the wavelength of this tsunami. If it's short, the wave will travel, of course, super fast, like a jet airliner, across the ocean. But when it comes over here and hit the continental slope, this is the abyss. And here we got a stretch of land, which would be around 200 miles according to the ruler down here. So if it's a short wavelength, Florida, of course, is going to be in for a real nightmare. It could cost the entire peninsula its existence. Everything flushed into the Mexican Gulf, all of it. That could happen. But again, that depends on the wavelength. If the wavelength is many, many miles behind it, that means this wavelength is keep pushing behind, following, and providing the energy for this. Well, this energy don't dissipate because it's got the pressure behind it helping it forward. So the longer the wavelength is, the more devastation there will be on the continent it hits. The shorter, it breaks up faster because there's not enough coming from behind helping it and pushing it forward. That's why we are talking about the wavelength. So this point here could be 100 miles, it could be 200 miles, or it could be 5 miles and 10 miles only. But that's bad enough, because as long as there's a wavelength behind it, it's still going to push forward. So the devastation on the east coast of US all depends on the wavelength. The wave height is already a given. It's going to be something you will not unsee if you see it. And if you see it, you are dead. Count on that. The worst place to be in is actually right here, because they hardly got any continental slope. So there won't be any lower waters to brake, slowing down the speed and also minimize the height of the tsunami. Florida here lies good in the corner, right? You could say they're in a good position because they got a 200-mile continental slope, but the average height of Florida is 42 feet. And depending on the wavelength, depending on the height, I mean, it's up to guesswork how much of a tsunami height you're getting here. Some prognosis saying 30 feet, but 30 feet, that's pretty bad. Does anybody remember the 2004 tsunami in the Indian Ocean, costing 240,000 people's lives? Thank goodness that the inflicted areas were not that populated of what it hit. It hit a lot and ruined a lot, but a tsunami like that hitting New York City would have wiped the entire town out. Gone. Everybody would have been dead. Maybe talking millions. So how many people are living on this entire stretch here at the coastline? I don't know. But it's quite a few. We're talking double digits of millions. Up in the 30s, maybe 40 million people are situated along the coastline of the United States of America. That would be a sure killer. It will devastate the entire continent of the United States or North America. It will be a nightmare. Let's just say that. And of course, we got Cascadia sitting here, right here, the subduction zone. That one is a completely different can of worms than the landslide coming from here, hitting the East Coast. This one, if it has a full margin rupture, we're talking about destruction of everything, permanent destruction, sandblasted, or sand grinded, all the way to I-5. So anybody within on west of I-5 will lose their life in a matter of minutes. Here we're talking about 7 to 8 hours travel. Here at least people have a chance, if they know it's coming, to get out of that city. Here, we've got a couple of minutes. You see the wave, pray to God, because it's game over. So I don't want to fearmonger, but this is actually a reality now. I'm going to put the two links for these two videos. There's one here too. Megatsunami scenario, La Palma landslide, where there's also some explanation to it. But again, there's a lot of variables in this. This landslide can be far more greater than anticipated, or it could be far more less of what they expect it to be. We just don't know. The one thing we do know now, that is, there is two group of people calling themselves allied, and that is Russia and China. They would like to devastate the United States of America if they can get away with it without sending men, without firing one shot. They will take out approximately 40 million people in one swath. No one to protect the coastline because they're all dead and they're already on their way in their ships, and they will have the perfect beachhead. It will not be a Normandy D-Day. It will be walk on in, literally, because there won't be anybody giving them resistance. All the naval bases with what do they call them? Coastal batteries, cannons, and all the ships at port would be crushed, useless. So it would be a beachhead that is void of any resistance. They won't see any people. All they will see is rubble. And they can just march in and they can get very deep. They can get as far as 100 miles in without meeting any resistance. And at that point in time, when this happens, which I believe it will, at that point in time, when they reach and go up on shore for their invasion of the United States, the situation in America, because we have heard the news, this is going to be more traumatic than 9/11. It's going to be a paradigm shift in everybody's mind, what just happened. There'll be a lot of people, and I tell you, millions of people will be on their knees crying, weeping because of it. That's how immense destruction there will be. And I can assure you, CNN and all the other ones, they will be ready with the cameras to show you all the horror, to make it even more traumatic for you. So that's all I have to say. There will be a couple of links, you can go watch it, and you can also go read some of it up yourself and get some knowledge yourself, except from what I'm saying, which I have. Perhaps a decade ago I started talking about this, and of course I got ridiculed for it, and it never happened, because people, when I say something, they expect it to happen next day, or at least within a month, at least so they can confirm what I said was true, or is true. That's how people's minds work. They want results right here and right there. And we can thank the cell phone for that, because knowledge is in a fingertip, right? All you need to do is press your apps and start typing, and you will get all kinds of info. What's your discernment? Because much of the info you get today is fake information, misinformation, disinformation. But this is real. This is not disinformation. It's not misinformation. It's the real deal. This is going to happen at some point in time, either by itself or by the help of Russia and China in a covert operation. And I guarantee you, Biden already know about it. And he don't give a shit. He has already, with General Milley, sold America to the communists. It's already done. So all I can say to you is, while you have the time, stock up on some food, get some water, get a firearm, get a shotgun, get some ammunition while you can. And I know it's pretty expensive right now getting ammunition, because they have closed the doors to Russia. I mean, no money is worth a human life. That's the mindset I want you to have, because if you are alive and you will have to fight, you will get nowhere with sticks and stones. Don't bring a knife to a gunfight. So make sure you at least have a chance. Even if you should die, at least you made a difference. You get my point on that? You made a difference, even if you only last half an hour in the battlefield. You did your part. You defended your nation against a foreign entity. That's all I can say. It's worth the money. I know, but then I'm gonna die. What is my firearm worth? Well, you can't think like that. Because if you think like that, you might as well go hang yourself in the nearest tree you see. Because then it's this game over for you. Period. It's just life. Fact. But at least make yourself able to feed yourself and your family, get some water, have some first aid kits, have some firearms, have some downright expensive ammunition. You never know, it might save your life for a while. There's nothing wrong with self-defense. Aggression is wrong. Self-defense is justified. And I can assure you, the good old Lord is not going to judge you for defending yourself and your family. That ain't going to happen. He expected of you. Over and out. God bless you.